What's up, guys? Thanks for stopping by Casks-n-Que, where whiskey and barbecue meet. So it's 17 degrees right now in Bryant, Arkansas, and we are going to smoke a brisket. Stick around. So my idea with this brisket is to incorporate some veggies towards the end of the cook. We're gonna get some of the juices and seasoning from that brisket. We're gonna put the brisket on top of the veggies towards the end of the cook and let that all marry together, and it's gonna be delicious. But we're gonna do it while a winter storm approaches. I think it's gonna start snowing here in about 3 or 4 hours, so we gotta get to work. And today we're gonna be smoking on the Blaze Kamado. Let's go ahead and get the pit fired up. So as you can see here, we have some coals left over from a cook that I did a few days ago. Running kind of low, so we're going to add some royal oak lump charcoal. And we'll add some cherry chunks in there. Just use the rest of these and spread those out for even distribution. And we can't forget my trusty tumbleweeds. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's get those lit. All right, guys, it's freaking cold out here. While the Blaze Kamado gets fired up, let's get our brisket ready. We're getting a good little fire going there. Let's go ahead and get our place setter back in there. And our grill grate. We'll let that heat up. This guy weighs 15 pounds. Let's flip it on the other side. That way we can cut the cryovac, and we're cutting into the fat if we do cut too far. It is just frigid out here. We're not used to 17 degrees in Arkansas. All right, let's get that out of the cryovac. There we go. The goal here is to get down to about 1/4 of an inch of fat on the fatty side. So let's start trimming. My fingers are almost frozen. I'm going to save this fat for tallow. I would highly suggest you do the same. Lots of uses for it. You want to make sure your brisket's pretty cold when you trim. And you also want to make sure you have a sharp knife. The reason you want your brisket cold is because it trims the fat easier. Because that fat tends to melt the hotter it gets, obviously, and it makes it more difficult to remove. We're not doing a competition trim here. This is to feed the family. And we're just looking to get aerodynamic here. You don't have to get too crazy with this. This brisket is already a good shape. All we're doing is enhancing it a little bit. We'll kind of round off the edges. Anything that's kind of hanging like that, let's get rid of it because it'll just burn. A little bit of a gash right there, that's all right. And if you get down into the meat on the point end, that's okay because there's a lot of internal meat. On the flat, we want to make sure we keep as much fat there as we can. All right, looking pretty good to me. So I'm going to save this tallow. I'm just going to put it in a bag for now. A lot of fat. I hate to throw that away. So we're going to come in with some apple cider vinegar and water mixture for our binder before we put the rub on, because this is a little dry. Today we're going to use some Goldie's brisket rub. I was able to go down there a few months ago, and it is delicious. You got to go if you have the chance. And this is obviously more than just salt and pepper. You can see the color. Smells wonderful. And this is a big hunk of beef, so it can take a lot of rub. Don't be shy. Don't forget the sides, as Chud would say. If you know, you know. I like the shape of this brisket. It's nice and even. The flat isn't real thin. Of course, I trimmed off some of that. This should cook nicely. Again, this is a prime, USDA prime cut. I try to go prime most of the time. Flip it over. We're gonna let this sit for about 20 minutes while that blaze Kamado gets up to temp. Okay guys, the smoker is about 225 degrees. We're gonna cook this about 275, but I need to get this thing on because we have to have it for dinner, so let's go. All right, we are gonna cook fat side down. And we do have our trusty thermometer on the back side there. You can't see it, but it's there. So we'll come out and spritz this every so often, just to make sure it doesn't start crisping up on the edges or anything like that. We're gonna let this go for a couple hours without even looking at it. We'll be back. All right, that brisket has been going about 5 hours, and I have spritzed periodically just to make sure that the ends and the edges aren't drying out. So let's go ahead and get our veggies ready and get that brisket wrapped up in some aluminum foil. There we go. Looks and smells amazing. So we're gonna come in with some red wine. This is a cab. We wanna make sure our foil, this is 4 sheets of heavy duty aluminum foil, by the way. Kind of wanna make a boat out of it. I say a boat, just like, you know, fold up the corners and the edges. Call it what you want. All right. This is going to add tons of flavor. It's going to be part of the au jus. Okay. Next, we're going to come in with some beef broth. Next, we're going to add carrots. And you know what? I kind of messed up. So we'll adapt. We'll make an adjustment here. Not a big deal. And here I have some onions and 1, 2, 3, 4 cloves of garlic. And that's just a rough chop on those onions. And I thought I had some celery, but I don't. But we do have potatoes. I'm not going to worry about putting more seasoning down. There's plenty of flavor in here. You can always add seasoning at the end if you'd like. So let's try to get most of this underneath. So we still have some time to go on this. I'd estimate another 3 hours, but we don't cook to temperature and we don't cook to time, we cook to feel. So let's get this back on the smoker. I did spill a little of that red wine and beef broth, but that's okay, it's just a little bit. Go ahead and wrap the top. This is a pretty tight wrap. Can't feel my fingers out here because it's so cold. All right, y'all, it's really cold outside. We're sitting at 12 degrees right now, but my probe just went off. It says we're at 203, so let's go probe for tenderness. I think we're done. All right, here we go. Showing 207. And it's like butter, I think. Right there at it. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and pull this off and just let it rest for about an hour. Let's give a little sneak peek. I just took this off the Kamado. Got those carrots and that au jus. Color is great on that thing. My gosh, that smells amazing. Not the best lighting out here right now, but I want to give you a sneak peek into that au jus that we got. Oh my Lord, this is going to be phenomenal. I can't wait. Okay, so the game plan now is basically to do nothing for an hour. We're gonna cover this back up and let it sit. It's very cold. Let's go get the brisket. It's been resting for, I don't know, hour and a half. It's cold. It's cold. All right. Ooh, smells delicious. Looks delicious. Oh my goodness. Move this sideways. Oh man. Oh, look at the jiggle. Oh, this is gonna be a thing of beauty. Got my trusty brisket knife. We'll just go right down the middle. Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's awesome. All right, here we go. My wife likes the lean, so let's do a few slices of that. Or a slice, I should say. I mean, that's tender. The flop test pulls apart like money. I mean, that's just gelatinous, wonderful, amazing. Let's take a bite. Oh, that's killer. I mean, that came out perfect. Great bark, pull test, perfect. I am happy. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do a few slices here, turn it, and a few slices here. Here we go. I'm going for pencil thin slices here. Oh, goodness. I mean, just look at that. It's ridiculous. You got to try this, guys. This is a great wintertime meal with those veggies and that au jus. We're going to get to that part here in a minute. I mean, just phenomenal. I mean, look at that. Good smoke ring. Oh, fantastic. One more slice of the lean. I mean, I don't know what else you want. Amazing. All right, so we're going to turn this one this way. Look at that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Oh, my God. That's so freaking good. I mean, that is just, God, that's perfect. Look at that. Look at all those vegetables. And that au jus, those onions. Carrots are perfect. Potatoes are perfect. So we're going to layer these slices in here like that. And just make a thing of beauty here. Got some stuff in the way. It's 12 degrees out here. What do you want from me? Let's take a bite of this brisket. Let's get some of that au jus. I mean, come on. Let's go. Man, if you don't do this, then you just don't like awesome food. It's easy. It's not cheap. And it's delicious. Did I mention I'm frozen? I can't feel my fingers. I can't feel my nose. So I've done this for you guys, right? Go ahead, like, subscribe, and smash that bell. I labored for you guys, and I want you to try this. You've got to give it a shot. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. Thanks for stopping by Casks-n-Que, where whiskey and barbecue meet. I'm Frozen, and we'll see you next time.